Hey, KiKi, it's time to play. It's time to play. Devil's advocate. Hey, KiKi, it's PDA. It's time to play. Devil's advocate.
Yeah, we refer to a female cookies. We call it the PS, it's not fit, we call them cushy. We don't speak ill of the dead. We hope you won't be offended by the things that I've said. Playing devil's advocate and no one here to judge you. That's what you true force, you will learn how to love you. Everybody's listening, nobody's tripping. This life's too crazy, everybody's flipping. This life so crazy, run and tell your friends. You on the right side, there's no need to pretend. This an open forum, never done before. There's a future, listen, this is a no. No cousins, you could learn something, no bugging. No extra charge, you switch for be buzzing. We don't really care if you're right or you're wrong. Just tune into Miss KiKi, whichever side the sound.
Hey, KiKi, it's time to play. It's time to play. Devil's advocate. Hey, KiKi, it's PDA. It's time to play. Devil's advocate.
Good evening, everybody.
At some point, you will be offended by something said on this show. But playing devil's advocate is meant to be a forum for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of the host or of the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly even ourselves. Enjoy the show.
As you all can tell, I'm excited to get the show going. I'm like, good evening, everybody, at the wrong spot. So I'm going to say it right now at the right time. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur. And tonight we are going to bring you 120 minutes of edutainment. That means for 2 hours, you are going to be educated and entertained. There's no telling what the emphasis will be on tonight, but whatever it is, I'm sure you shall enjoy. First up, let me let you know we are here each and every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. to you guys on the East Coast. So if you happen to miss us live, you can always come right back here, and you'll be able to watch the replays. Also, you would like to follow us on Twitter at PDA_Miss KiKi. That's PDA_MSKIKI to make sure that you are in the know about everything that is going on with us. Also, and you're sending us tweets and stuff, you can go to facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate, facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate, like the page. You can comment there. We are fully interactive. We have an interactive chat room there for you guys to be a part of. So I can't wait to get into that. Let me bring in my partner in crime this week. I know I had some announcements. I don't remember what they are, but hopefully she'll remind me of them. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her. You love her. She coined phrases like lube is for amateurs. I could make this stuff up if I wanted to. And either you rub it out or I suck it out. I'm just saying. Those are her words, not mine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Miss Sporty, Spunky, Angel. Hey, girl, you in that damn book. I'm surprised your book has any lettering left on it. You need to get you a new copy, huh?
Girl, look, you can't mess with my highlighted copy. I have to hold on to this one.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's an original. It's signed by the author, so you know I
is
have to.
it?
It is. I have to keep this one.
Oh,
This is special to me.
isn't that special?
It is. It is.
All right, then. Well, I am excited about tonight's show. Before we get into it, I know you had some announcements you wanted to make.
Oh yes, my future's so bright. I have to take off my shades. Please hold.
Girl, I'm
So,
going to write you.
well, no, I just wanted to make an awesome announcement that our foundation, Grace Foundation, we're doing a fundraiser this week, Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
to help the homeless of Wacker Drive here in Chicago. And so what we're doing is the price of admission to get into Sapphire and Park Forest this weekend is a case of water or some juice boxes or, you know, any non-perishable items that we can do, because we're going to make sandwiches and give toiletries to those people on Lower Worker Drive within the next 2 weeks. We're going to put together packages for them and distribute it. We're trying to put together 500 packages so that we can give those out to those people who need it. So that was Antoine's brainchild. And so, you know, being the team player and business partner that I am, we're going to kick it off with some live music with our band. And we're going to have a live DJ. We're going to party, raffles.
So wait a minute. Can you tell everybody again, if you're in the Chicagoland area, tell them where they need to go.
Where you can go is to Club Sapphire, Park Forest, Illinois, which is 331 Founders Way. We will begin at 7:30 p.m. We will go until 3 a.m. this coming Friday, the 13th. Again, price of admission is non-perishable items. If you would like to give a monetary donation and you can't be there with us, then feel free to hit us up on our PayPal.
Give the PayPal.
Which is Jams Angel 3. That's JAMMSANGEL, the number 3, at yahoo.com, and you can send your tax-deductible donation there to help with the perishable items.
Perfect. There it is.
Yes. Yay, team.
So no excuses, ladies and gentlemen. There's no excuse for you not to help out. If you cannot be there in Chicago, you can always offer a donation so that they can get more perishable items to help out those who may be in need. I know it's hard out here for a lot of folks, so if you can, you know, pay it forward, that would be great. I got a new look. I'm not wearing my hair down. I'm wearing my glasses, y'all, today, so I'm giving y'all my librarian look today.
That's a sexy librarian. That hat is on point, lady.
Well, you know, what can I say? Here's the thing. I just wanted to remind everybody, if you didn't get a chance to catch me last night on Soul Elixir Radio, they interviewed me last night, and our topic was the chore of sex. And I was like, wait, I'm a sexpert. Why would you call me to talk about sex being a chore? But it got pretty deep. And on Soul Elixir Radio, in case you guys do not know, is hosted by, produced by Mo. If you guys don't know who Mo is, she was actually in the lip sync challenge with me and Melinda Santiago. And then Tamika Scott from Escape. And Michael McCary from Boyz II Men, the bass. The one who left the group. So they're the host of the show. So we had a good time. So go check it out. I will post the link so you guys can go check it out. It was a fun time had by all. It was, you know how things can get crazy around here?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a lot. It was a lot of foolery going on.
Live and living color over there, huh?
Yes, it was a lot going on. But anyway, tonight's topic is how to handle rejection.
Oh my.
And you know, the interesting thing about rejection, and you know, because what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to get some scenarios of when we had to face rejection, what we learned from it, how we responded to it, all of those good things. And you know, the interesting thing about rejection is it is a blow to the ego.
Yeah. Big time.
I've always had difficulty with no.
It's not in my vocabulary. I don't appreciate it.
I don't even know who came up with that word. They need to just like kill themselves. But we want to hear about some of your rejections and things of that nature. Don't Reject Me, buy my book, The Other Woman Code of Conduct, what every other woman should know, and then too, Don't Reject Me, buy it. All right. So rejection can come in a lot of ways. Rejection can come in romantic ways. It can come in a professional way. It can come in familiar ways. It can come in a lot of ways. And you know, this is something that's not necessarily personal to me in terms of me feeling this type of rejection, but I
Mm-hmm.
can see how this would play, make a difference in somebody's life, right?
Okay.
Give you an example. A lot of parents don't realize that when they don't spend a lot of time with their children or they're absentee, that child feels like they are being rejected by that parent.
Agreed.
That may not be the parent's intent because the parent is probably like, I got a job, I got to pay these bills, you need clothes, you always eating and shit, you want to breathe and play on the
Might be a
internet.
latchkey kid for that matter. You never know, right?
What you say?
They might be a latchkey kid. Like you said, a single parent working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, with that being said, there are a lot of people that, don't realize that those things can affect children.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say to children and parents or whatever, because what happens is these kids grow up and then they start acting like a bunch of spoiled brats, entitled, or they act as if they don't have any boundaries and they can do whatever they want to do because they just act with little regard for other human beings because they felt like their feelings were never taken into consideration. I was watching this one episode of Law and Order, and they were talking about child abuse and all this other stuff, and they were talking about how this one kid, this baby, how parents establish a rapport with their kids, and they
Mm-hmm.
were saying that this baby, they put the baby there, and the baby was playing with the mother, and they were all happy, feeling so good, and da 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 da. And then the mother went away, just walked out of the view of the baby, and came back into the view of the baby, and the baby was, grimacing and trying to get the mother's attention, and so she immediately came back to the baby, and then the baby was like, right, and then she did it again, but this time it took her longer to respond to the baby, and it was like the longer that she would stay disengaged with this child, the more stressed out you could see that the baby was getting, right? And so what happens oftentimes is that when you're ignoring your children, and you, like I said, it may not be intentional, um they start to act out. They do things to get your attention, and they don't care if it's positive attention or negative attention. They just want you to pay attention to them. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find that you have a child around you that's acting out and they're mischievous, yeah, some kids are just willful just by nature. Some kids are just, very grown up for their age and advanced and all of that. But the reality is, if you got a kid that's just into every flipping thing all the flipping time, and you always have to yell, and you always have to do punishing, you always have to do, you might want to take a look at you and not the kid, because that
That's,
child is feeling rejected and they're acting out. Go ahead, Sporty.
no, I was gonna say that is such a valid point. I notice sometimes, like if I'm really busy here at home, Mimi will, she'll pop out. She'll go, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you?" I'll have to engage her in a little mini conversation just to let her
Mm-hmm.
know I see you, I'm paying attention to what you're doing. Or if I'm really busy, she'll go, "I just want to give you a hug." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay." So I'm not going to say no, I'm not going to give you a hug. I'm busy right now. So I'll stop, and then that's her way to engage me, just to make sure she's like, "Look, I'm right here. Hello." So,
Yeah.
she has her little context clues, that I need to pay attention to when something's going on, or, she'll get louder and louder if I'm talking or doing something and she needs attention right then and there, and
Mm-hmm.
so you do have to pay attention to those clues. And if I've been busy for a really long time, then, I'm like, okay, let me take a break, give her some attention so she'll settle herself right on back down, and then I can settle myself right on back down. Or if we need to just change the activity, then
Right.
that's what we'll do. But if you're not paying attention, it's really easy for that to just drift on by, and you blame it. What's wrong with them? What's
Right.
wrong?
Right.
Why is
And there's
she
nothing
doing
wrong
that?
with them at all. They're just
Right.
looking for some attention from you. They need that attention. And so,
Mhm.
a lot of times we want to blame them and we want to, shame them into backing up off of us. But the reality is that we just need to pay a little bit more attention to them so that they feel engaged with us. And so, that is a thing about rejection that a lot of people miss when it comes to children. And I know, because I call her the terrorist. You know, my goddaughter Samaya. I call her a terrorist because she terrorizes me. She really does. She requires a lot of attention. She requires a lot of attention. So they think it's funny that she that she terrorizes me, but you know, it's like as soon as she sees me, it's like
Auntie KiKi? Auntie KiKi?
yeah. Sporty, you can go ahead and share one with me.
Girl, let me tell you. I'll start with, let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's start with a high school rejection. So, he was my first love in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a freshman. He was a junior. So not only was he my first love, but he was an older boy. So he, here I am kicking it with a 16-year-old, and he was, I was 14.
Woo! You was
14.
fancy. You an older man, okay?
Girl. And he was, he was a popular guy. He was the biggest singer in the school, and he was the newspaper editor, debate person. So he was like a sexy nerd,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was just, the new cheerleader or whatever. It was cute. And so I went to his little prom with him and all of that. And but when he graduated his senior year, he broke up with me. Because he's like, I'm going off to college, and you still got 2 years of high school, and I'm gonna be away from you. All of this, all of his reasons. It's not me, it's you. That was the first time I heard that
Right.
bullshit. And I was devastated. I'm like, what did I do? How could he leave me? Blah blah
Right.
blah. And so for like a whole week, I was a mess.
A
And
mess.
a whole week, and I just could not function. And so, girl, it was just that week just destroyed me. But then I got over it, and now that I was back on the market, I was fair game. I had pickings, so it was good.
I had something similar like that happen to me. I know, it's hard to believe, but yes, it happened to me.
I was going to say, really?
No, for real. It did happen to me. No, I was just
You see
being
my
funny when
face,
I
right?
say I know it for real. It happens to me, but shit, ain't none of us immune to it. It can happen to any of us at any time. It happened in high school too. My high school sweetheart did the same thing to me, except for it was junior prom. He broke up with me right before junior prom and took somebody else.
How could he do that?
When I tell you, my little heart was so damn broken.
He
I
took
could not.
somebody else?
Yes, he took a skank.
Somebody who was gonna put out prom.
Take that skank to prom, and it didn't even last. She was banging everything in town. So I didn't get a chance to go to Leo High School junior prom because of that, or senior prom because of that. I know her name. I ain't gonna say her name.
Don't say her name. Right, we can't say names. I do know that we're breaking up with KT. I'm saying initials. I ain't gonna say his name. We're breaking up with KT. I did get to go on Mendel senior prom though with this dude. That made me happy.
But it does mess with you. It messes with your psyche. And I'll give an example. If you don't address that rejection and how you felt and how it made you feel, if you don't address it and you kind of bury it, repress it, you'll repeat it later on in life. You know what I mean? And I'll give another example. Yes, people do walk away from me. And let me tell you why.
Enlighten me, girl.
Yeah, here's the thing. Have you heard that song by Layla Hathaway and Joe Sample, where when your life was low?
Yes.
Okay. I have a knack for seeing things in men, and I nurture them. I support them. I'm their biggest cheerleader, their biggest fan. And we all know how I've already explained to you guys how I am in a relationship. I'm very attentive. The man is it's not all about him, but I want to make sure that he's comfortable, happy, whatever, feels appreciated, blah blah blah, and also reciprocated. So what'll happen is I'll date somebody. What she say? I made you well again. You know what I mean? I put you back
Mm-hmm.
together from all the pieces you left along the way. You left me shining, right? Because when you walked away from me, you was like, bing, and you figure you feeling good. You want to go back to your ex. I had 3 dudes do that to me. 3. 1, 2, 3. It was like, oh, I'm gonna go back to my ex. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking, wait.
But I fixed your broke ass.
Like she's your ex for a reason, and 2, you'll be back. And they all came back.
They all come back. Don't they always come back? Oh my God.
And guess who was on the other end of rejection?
They were. Okay,
But you know,
huh?
but I said that to say, how you will repeat it, because I didn't address that first feeling that I had when I was in high school. I didn't address it. I powered through. I had my moment. I broke down. I mean, I was a girl. I had a girly moment for real. I was.
No, you didn't.
Yes. I did all of that, right? I did all of that. I got it out. And then I kept it pushing. I didn't look back from that moment on. But the reality is I never dealt with those emotions, and how it made me feel and all of that stuff. So when it reappeared its head in another way later on in life, I was mad. I got mad. I mean, because, we talking about our rejection moments and how we handled it. I was mad as fuck. I'm going to tell you this. This one dude, I ain't going to say his name.
But him downstairs.
But I'll put it like this. He caramel, he's 6'4", and y'all may have seen him before.
Okay.
I was on the set with Bernie. He called me and was like, what are you doing? I said, when I leave. No, what are you doing when you come down the hill? Are you going left down the hill or right up the hill? Right up the hill would have meant I'm going to the valley to come see him. That was his way of saying. Or left, going down the hill to the city where I live. I was like, well, I was going right down the hill. He was like, well, why don't you go left? I'm like, okay. So I get over there. Everything is good. He greets me like he normally greets me. The whole 9. We sitting there chopping it up, watching the movie, legs, head all in my lap, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we just having a good little old time. This motherfucker was like, I wanted to talk to you about something. I was like, what's up? And he says, well, I'm really thinking about, we weren't together. We weren't a couple at that point. We were dating, either one of us, it wasn't an exclusive thing, but it was, you know what I mean? And he was like, well, I'm really considering, and I'm thinking about, trying to make it work again with my ex. This is my face. No joke.
That look right there.
He's talking. And then I did like this. So I go to sit on my hands, right? And he kind of flinched, right? And I was like, why are you flinching? He was like, I was like, you think I'm gonna hit you? Nah, I know you better than that. I said, no, really, you don't. Right? So I'm sitting there and he's looking at me for some type of emotional response. I wasn't giving him anything. One, because I'm processing this shit in my head. Like, nigga, did you just lull me into this shit? You acted like this was not on your plate at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really rope-a-doped me into this motherfucker right here, this moment. Because nothing was odd about your behavior. You weren't standoffish in any way, acting as if you had something pressing on your mind. You were completely in your same way that you behaved toward me. So I didn't even see that coming, right? So I'm just like, oh, okay. He said what he had to say. I was like, you done? He was like, yeah. He grabbed my pocketbook. Wait. I don't want you to leave like this. Well, how you want me to leave? Backwards? I can walk out backwards? I mean, like, what do you want? Like, how do you want me to leave? So, I was angry. And when I get angry, I have to take a step back because I need to process my thoughts and my emotions. So, he called me the entire way home. I wasn't taking this call, dude. I need to, I need to process that. But that cut me deep, dude. That cut me deep. It cut me deep.
Girl, oh my
They said,
God.
all right, Sporty, your hair all did up. That's what they said in chat.
Really? Well,
What's
okay,
up, y'all,
thank
to the
you.
y'all in the chat room? We see you over there. Yeah, man. So that rejection, it's a tough pill to swallow, especially when your heart is in it. You know what I'm saying? So for those of
Girl.
you guys who just may be joining us, this is Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur. And yes, I'm doing my librarian look today with my specs. And we are talking about how to handle rejection. And Sporty and I just share with you guys some personal stories about how we got dumped. Kicked to the curb, and what that rejection felt like, and how we actually, I gave 3 fucking examples. Damn. Okay.
Well, okay, so I got a couple
Wait a
more.
minute. Wait. Let me tell everybody. You can interact with us in our chat room, or you can post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/playing devil's advocate, or you can even send us a tweet at PDA_Miss KiKi. Share your stories with us and tell us what happened, how'd you respond, and what'd you learn. Go ahead, Sporty.
Well, since you're giving love stories, let's see. There was this one was okay. So check this out. What had happened was
Oh.
this was a Unity Catholic High School story. There was this girl. Her name was Lana, and we were taking the King Drive bus home. And there was these neighborhood boys, and they were fine. You know how you had the cute light-skinned neighborhood boys,
Uh-huh.
and everybody wanted to be their
Wait,
girlfriend or
did you say
whatever.
the cute light-skinned neighborhood boys?
They was
Who
cute.
you looking at, first of all?
I'm looking at you. The cute light-skinned neighborhood boys.
I don't know those guys, but okay.
So, but they was cute. They was light-skinned, and everybody wanted them. So my mama was friends with their daddy. That's a whole nother story. So, we were friends. So I liked the younger brother.
Mm.
And so the girl at my school, she called herself going with him. So we get on
She
bus.
was going with the one you like.
She was going with the boy I had a crush on. So we get on the bus, and I happened to see him go by. I was like, oh, there goes so and so. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, that's my man. I was like, okay, whatever. I said, he my neighbor, and that's where I'm going when I get home from school. I'm going right over there. This girl gets up on the bus and she slaps the tar pee out of me. Do you hear me?
What? Wait a minute. This don't sound like a rejection story.
Let me tell you, it's about to be the rejection story. So
Get to the rejection.
she slapped the tar piss out of me, girl. So I got upset. I kicked the girl out the back door of the bus, beat her up outside. He comes to the bus stop, and I'm like, she attacked me, and I'm telling him, because he usually defends my honor, like, don't nobody mess with me. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
what you do to my girlfriend? I was like, what? Your girlfriend hit me, and you just gonna, and he
Okay.
picked her up, and he was like, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I looked at him, I kicked him, and stomped off and went home, because he did this at the
Okay,
bus
but
stop in front of
here's
the
the
whole
thing now.
neighborhood.
Let me say this to you, Sporty. That's not a rejection story.
Oh, yeah, I
That's
felt
the
rejected.
Sporty was
That was my
delusional
friend.
story.
Girl,
Because
I was hurt.
you was in a full-on relationship with this dude that he didn't know. Yeah. That's the crazy ass shit there. I mean, I just want you to know that wasn't rejection. He just set the record straight. Like, you not his girl, old girl was.
I was hurt. I was his friend, and he was supposed to look out for me.
Yeah, you his friend, but that's his girl.
But she hit me. He was supposed to check her for hitting me.
Okay, again, delusion.
I'm clear about that now, but back then I was a very upset 13-year-old child. I was pissed. You hear me?
Bad.
But the real rejection story, and I'm going to keep it into 2 sentences.
Okay.
My ex had an affair and married my sibling. So that was a huge rejection. How about that? And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so you can't just put that out there and just think you're going to put it down and walk away. No, we got to have a moment here for that one.
Nigga, why?
Because you brought it up. That's why. So,
I
because
was
again,
rejected.
this show isn't just about, it's how to handle rejection, right? So, we're talking about this, what happened to us when we were rejected, how we responded, and what we learned from it. So, those are the things that I want you to keep in mind when you're telling your scenario. Now, your ex-husband cheated with a sibling and married them. So, how did you respond and what have you learned?
Um, I was
Look
very
at me.
angry. I was very angry, to say the least. We stopped communicating.
Mm.
Um, what I learned from the whole situation, I learned the art of forgiveness and what it means to completely forgive someone, even if it has been almost 10 years later, and we get along now.
Yeah, you better than me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all for forgiveness and everything, but we can say hi and bye if we had kids together or whatever, but if we can be cordial at the family functions, I don't know if I'm that forgiving. I don't know. I've never been in that position, but definitely there is a need for forgiveness in that moment. And who were you forgiving?
I forgave both of them. But at this point in our lives, the only two people that are speaking are he and I.
Did you forgive you?
Oh yeah, I did that first.
Hmm. Okay.
I
And what
did.
were you
I had
forgiving
to.
yourself for? And then I'm gonna let
Well,
you off the couch.
okay. The first thing I forgave myself for was blaming myself for the whole situation as if it was my fault. Then I looked at my accountability in the relationship itself between he and I. And then I also um, remembered, that life happens.
How
People
long
make
did it take you to get to that point?
about 4 years.
Yeah.
About 4 years. It took me about 4 years to get to that point for me.
Strange, because I don't know.
And it took it's been, like I said, it's almost 10 years now, and let's just say it's about full circle.
Okay. Definitely full circle. Here's some things that I want us to be mindful of in terms of when we're rejected by some. I'm going to give some things that we need to do later on. But
Okay.
here's a rejection story. Um and it's not a specific to anybody, but I just want to say this to you fellas and you ladies out there, especially you men. When you go to holler at a chick, a
Mhm.
woman, a
Holla.
female, a gal, whatever you call her, trick, hoe, bitch, whatever you call her, when you go to holler at somebody that you interested in, um, tell me this. Louis Darkseid talking about he gonna stab me, leave you alone. Stab me? Why you wanna stab me? What's with the violence?
That's terrible.
Stop the violence. That's what he said on Twitter. Um, Here's something that I want, fellas. If you trying to holler at a girl, a female, a woman, whatever, and she not interested, that is not the time for you to now try to degrade her. I'll bet you wasn't all that anyway. Stuck a bitch. I bet you not. Don't take the rejection personal. Well, sometimes you should, but don't. Anybody could have struck out that day. You don't know what was actually going on. You know what I mean? And I can understand it depends on how she does it. So for the flip side to this, ladies, if you are going to reject someone, do it in such a way, and this is just all the way around the board though when they're talking about rejection. If you're going to reject somebody, reject them in a way you would want somebody to do you. Be polite. Be cognizant of their feelings, especially if it's in public. You know, why you want to embarrass them? It's already going to be difficult enough. So don't be like, who you talking to? Because some of y'all get attitudes and y'all get real stankalicious when, you know, somebody trying to holler at you that you're not interested in. So on both sides of the coin, it is not okay, fellas, for her to reject you and then you go bad on her. And ladies, when he approaches you and you have to reject him, it is not okay to now I'm going to embarrass him. That's not okay.
Right.
I don't like it. Don't do it. Knock it off. But we do that. I know. There have been a couple times, but I don't say it to their face. There have been a couple times Chan had to pull my coat tag. Somebody on Twitter said people be trying to date out of their league.
Not out their league.
Ooh, I got some. They got a question for you about your sister. I'll get to you in just a second. But there's been a couple times where Chan had to pull my coattail, and it's not an arrogant thing or anything like that. It was one of those moments where I just feel like, what about me said that you stood a chance? Like, what am I putting out there right now that you would think, and you got a whole mouthful of grills at the top and all the bottom teeth gone? What would make you think that I'm going to be like, hey, boo, yeah, here's my number. Really? What? Right? But am I rude about it? I'm like, no, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, but no. Right? Some of the stuff that's coming in on Twitter, it says it takes too much energy to stay mad. They're not mad at Sporty. They said, what was your sister doing that you weren't? And then they also, I'll let you answer that in a second. And then they said, people be trying to date out of their league. Dudes know those chicks are too pretty for them. I don't know if there's such thing as somebody being too pretty, but I do know that you know when you should know. Well, maybe then there's that school of thought is, why not me? Why would they be too good for me? But you could go ahead and answer his question. Don't go bad.
Oh, no. She was a flight attendant and was able to accompany him on trips out of town while I stayed home with the family.
Who you looking at? What's going on over there in that corner?
I'm looking at you, and I'm looking right here on the Twitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't really matter. This is one of the, I know this is kind of a joke at your expense, but you over it. This is exactly why I tell dudes, wait until all my people show up before you pick. Because here's the thing. If you come to my little shindig and my girls are there and my family is there, whatever, and you already made your pick, you can't now try to holler at my girl and it's going to be okay. Or holler at my, you know what I mean? Holler at my sister and it's going to be okay if we already dated. So you need to make sure that you picking the one that you want to pick.
And at least pick someone that's single.
Unless me and my girls have already talked about it and we've already been like, look, go ahead. Knock that down. I recommend it. You know, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, I know KiKi don't like short dudes, so I ain't running up on her. Really? Twitter? That's what the Twitter sphere is going to say. That's what Twitterverse is saying to me right now. Yeah, no, I've always said, I normally don't see short guys, but if you got hella swag and you catch my attention,
that's different.
It's very different. You got to have that manergy that makes me be like, wait.
They got to have hella swag for that then.
Who is that? Okay. Or yes, I do, you know, but again, that rejection isn't personal. And the reason why it's not personal is because I don't know you. So it can't be personal.
There you go.
The only way that it can be personal is if I knew you, which brings me to my next point. What do you do? How do you respond? And we asked this on our Man Crush March show, the Man's Guide to Love and Romance. How do you respond? How do you come back from telling somebody you love them and they say thank you? Or they like, oh, that's nice. Or You know what I mean? Or they just give you a hug or something. They never reciprocate. They don't reciprocate. How do you that rejection is like? Why are you shaking your head, Sporty?
I love the way you love me. I don't know what the hell you would say behind that. They'd be like, you
I know,
jacking.
but I'm not as the person that's doing the rejecting. The person being rejected. You just told him you love him, and he's just like, thank you. Or that's so sweet. What do you do?
I'll make him some spaghetti.
No, not the spaghetti. Don't eat it, fellas. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. It is not okay for you to eat it.
That's the
Here's
only
the
thing I
other
can
thing.
think of. That's horrible.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, Chan, what would you do?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't what?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do what?
I wouldn't respond.
Oh, no. You wouldn't respond if they told you they loved you? Hey, calm down. You're knocking stuff over.
Oh, I didn't know that was right there.
No,
I'm
my
like,
question,
she came in
what
there
would you
throwing
do if
shit.
somebody told you, if you told somebody you love them and then they was just like, thanks. Oh, that's so sweet.
First of all, I would never tell somebody I love them unless they're my family member. Unless you've already told me first.
Did you hear that? Ladies and gentlemen, stick your head in this camera now. Let them see your pretty hair, dude. Let them see your pretty hair, girl.
Come on, let me see that hair, Chan.
But no, I would never say that unless I already know that you love me first. So that would not happen with me.
You hear that? She said, I'd never tell you I love you unless you my family member. Or you done told me first.
There it is.
I love you, Chan.
I love you too.
And you said it first. And you said it first. Hilarious. Yeah, that's deep. I don't know how I would respond to that if I did that for someone. They said, damn, Chan is ruthless. Yes, she is. They said another part of
say it first either, KiKi.
Huh?
I won't say it first either.
Let me think about that. I'm gonna go back in my mental Rolodex to see if I've ever told anybody that first. On Twitter, Louis says another part of dating out of your league. You don't get that when you stay in your lane. Somebody telling somebody you love them. No, because you could be equally matched with somebody and you don't get there at the same time.
True.
I mean, it happens. Everybody gets there in their own time. So it doesn't necessarily mean you out of your league. Have I ever told anybody I love them first? I don't think so. Well, I ain't said that to so many people.
You know what? I said it to one person, and they didn't say it to me until we broke up, and they were a guest on this goddamn show.
They said it on the air. They said it
sure
on the air.
I remember that. That was the one and only person that happened with.
Well, I'll say this, and you were a little pissed off about it too. You were devastated about that. And I think
the conversation after the show was deep.
Well, you were no. Here's the thing: you were hurt. You were being emotional because you said it and they didn't. And then after you found out after the fact, it pissed you off. And I think that's a natural response for a lot of people when it comes to rejection, so to speak. Is that first inclination after hurt is anger. But it's kind of like, and I'll just go there anyway, even though I said I was going to go over it later on in the show. It's kind of like you have to grieve it. You have to go through those stages of grief because it is. Huh?
I said, okay.
Yeah, you have to grieve it. A lot of people don't take the time to grieve that. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make, or anything like that, but you have to take a moment and grieve that loss. That's so interesting. Let me read what just came in. Let's see here.
This goddamn show needs to stay out of my life.
The show needs to stay out of your life. Let's see here. It says Chan is ruthless, not mad at Chan. When first just played yourself. Oh, when you say it first, you played yourself to the back of the bus. Somebody got to say it first. Somebody has to say it first. Both of them can't be holes in the trigger bag talking about, nah. Somebody needs to pull the trigger.
But
take the safety off.
You have to know that. I would think, and I'm just saying, I guess maybe from my own personal experience, you know if that other person genuinely loves you or not. If you're gonna say something like that to somebody, you know if they love you. And I don't know how to
No, you
even
don't.
really
How do
what.
you know that?
I don't know how to explain that part, Kiki. You just do.
No, you don't. Clearly. Because if you say it to somebody and they don't say it back,
Well, I don't do that anymore, but
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying in general. So there's, to say that you don't know. Even after they've said it, you really don't know. Until their words and their actions are consistent all across the board or whatever, that's the only way that you would know.
yeah.
I mean, or have a clue even. And then there's some people who, like Sporty, have a crush on somebody, they don't know it, then get into a fight with their girlfriend and get mad that the girlfriend that he came to his girlfriend's rescue and not yours.
Let's get the record straight. We got into a fight because that bitch slapped me.
Over him.
Yeah, it was about him, but she touched me.
That's the point.
I wouldn't have fought her if she didn't hit me. I would have just been pissed
Right.
off.
Right.
You know.
Sure. Better to be pissed off than pissed on, unless you get down like that.
Yeah.
Twitter says, what's going on with Kiki's hair? Why she got the mash hat on? I said I was doing something different. Get off my back. It says you can feel it, especially when you over 35. You can feel the vibe.
Age ain't got shit to do with that.
No, it's a lot of mofos who are old fools. It says you only I'm going to the chat room now. You only get out of your league when you try to get out of your league. What? Don't be a coward and try. And try to keep trying to get the. Okay, you need to put that in English. God damn it. Okay. Maybe I need a drink or something because that didn't make no damn sense.
I was gonna say that made me thirsty, Kiki.
Huh? I need Ron to recite that because that didn't make no sense to me, baby. I'm like, you only out of your league when you get out of your league. What? Ladies and gentlemen, the Sporty, they said they're gonna do your nails before the next show.
They're gonna do my what?
They're gonna do your nails before the next show on Twitter. All right, so it's time it's time for the drink of the week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know normally I don't get into telling y'all what the drink is about. That's not what I do. That's not how I get down. If you haven't had a chance to check out the drink of the week prior to now is your time to go to facebook.com/playingdevilsadvocate. Check out the drink of the week. Click the link. Let Cousin Chan know what you think. Send her videos. Send her pictures. Send her Snapchats. So, she don't have Snapchat. I got Snapchat.
Do you?
Yeah. What am I on to Snapchat?
Girl, I don't know. I don't mess with that. I thought.
Okay, I'll remember by the end of the show what my Snapchat is. But anyway, let Cousin Chan, who with her pretty hairdo today, tell y'all about this week's drink of the week. Take it away, Cousin Chan. I can't. I must be losing my mind because I can't hear nothing. Must be me. Always is.
Just how it is.
Hey everybody, tonight's drink is called Paloma. Tonight's drink is 2 ounces of white tequila, 6 ounces of grapefruit juice and soda, and a half an ounce of lime. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to fill a highball glass with ice, then add tequila and lime juice, top it off with grapefruit juice, soda, and garnish with a lime wedge. And there you have it. Alright guys, say enjoy, drink responsibly. I'll see you next week.
When you can't get your body free.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was at a house party. I was at the Blue Gargoyle.
Girl, you see, I
was at the Blue Gargoyle. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that drink of the week. It is called Paloma. I don't know if you can hear her very well, but let me just kind of recap for you guys what she said was in that damn drink. I don't make this stuff up, y'all. This is that diabolical genius's brain. She comes up with this crap. She says that it has white tequila, lime juice, and grapefruit soda. Now, y'all know in Chicago, we call it pop. And this is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. Can you see that?
Ooh, yes. Yummy. Tummy.
Yeah, so go check it out, facebook.com/playing devil's advocate. Check out Cousin Chan's drink of the week. Go back through our WordPress site and just scroll and get yourself a bunch of cocktails. Just have a weekend where you try one, you know, just try one every weekend. I see Ron didn't redo his comment. Shame on you. Thanks for liking it and thanks for tweeting out the link. Appreciate you. Tonight's show is how to handle rejection. And it's been quite an interesting ride. Sporty has told us how delusional she has been in the past. I talked about how, dudes kind of, I buff them up, make them all nice and shiny, and then they feel like they can go off on their own. I ain't training no more, you motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Okay, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can interact with us in our interactive chat room. You can send us a tweet like Louis Darkside and some of the other people here on Twitter are doing at PDA_Miss KiKi, PDA_MSKIKI, or you can post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/playing devil's advocate. You could do it anytime, now, throughout the show, after the show, whatever. Keep the conversation going. And rejection. I don't like being rejected.
How about this?
I don't like no. Huh?
Check this out, girl. So, I was at work. I was working for a law firm, early 20s, and there were two of us, me and this other girl, Amy. We were the paralegal admins to the vice president of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the VP got a promotion to president of the company. He could only take one admin with him to the position, that he had. And he swore up and down, okay, Angel, you going with me. You've been with me the longest, blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. So I'm excited. I'm going to get my promotion and all these things. Amy was leaving to get married. She'd be back in 2 weeks or whatever. So she gone her 2 weeks. We getting everything together. I done moved on up to the office and all of this stuff prepared. What happens when I get back? The company is downsizing. My position is no longer available, but Amy gets to keep her job and becomes his assistant. So you talk about rejected and upset, pissed off, and ready to whoop Amy's ass in the break room. OMG.
Why are you mad at Amy?
Because that bitch didn't do nothing.
Okay, again, why you mad at Amy?
I was mad at everybody. I was mad at Amy because she got my job. I was mad at the president because he reneged on the deal. I was mad at everybody.
Amy got her job.
Amy got my job that was promised to me.
It ain't promised until that offer letter is signed.
Girl, look at here.
I'm just saying.
That was my job, and they took it away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
retweeting some of these tweets. Okay, give me another one, Sport. So they said, Tell Sporty is a law firm, not a LA firm. Okay, let me see here.
Law.
Huh?
I said law firm.
I don't know what they talk about. I think everybody done been drinking Chan's drink, and now they now they saying all kind of crazy shit.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I'm responding to tweets, so y'all please forgive me. I think in the job market, when it comes to your career and business and all of that, we tend to take things personally, right? Sometimes it is personal, oftentimes it's not. We don't know what Amy did to earn that job.
Oh, yes, the office does, but
So why you mad at her hustle? They said Amy had good head and yours was unexplored.
Exactly.
Hey, here's the thing.
Sitting under the desk.
Hey, look, if that's how Amy wanted to earn her job, she put in work. You said she didn't do nothing. She did something.
I did what I was paid to do. Whatever, KiKi, she might have been paid to do that too. I knew you were going to say that.
She got paid for it too. She got the job you wanted. So here's the thing. in terms of our workplace and getting the no or getting the rejection, no, you didn't get that position, that promotion that you were expecting. No, you didn't get the job that you applied for. No, you can't get this account. No, we won't be sponsoring this event. No, we can't come be a guest on your show because we busy doing reality TV shows. Um,
Girl.
Wait a minute though. I just want to say as an aside, I don't take this as a rejection, but it's just it's not a no, it's a later. You know what I mean? One of the guys that we were getting for the Man Crush March series that we were scoping out to get for the show, unbeknownst to us, he was unavailable to do it because he was actually filming a reality show. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that show, Match Made in Heaven.
I don't do reality.
And Sherry Shepherd is actually, this is the second season. It's like the Black Bachelor. And Sherry Shepherd is the host this year. Yeah, that was going to be one of our man crush, but he was busy doing press and doing everything, so he couldn't fit us in. So we'll get him later.
Interesting.
Yeah, if I'm in the vicinity, I'm getting your ass on the show one way or the other. Now that I think about it, I need to ask Michael from Boys to Men to bring his ass down here for June. We do June Black Music Month. Anyway, back to being rejected at work. It's not personal. You know what I mean? Up your game, change your stilo, move on. Because a lot of times we stay in situations, especially in work, a lot longer than we dang sure know we need to. And so that's why we get in our feelings, because we have been loyal to something that wasn't necessarily loyal to us. And so we feel rejected by the system. I never trusted corporate America. I never liked corporate America because they talking about they do Sherry Shepherd on Twitter, girl. I ain't
Ew.
on Twitter. Why are you talking about ill? Why you dissing Sherry?
It's my opinion. Ew. I'm not entitled to
Who
that.
are you looking at?
You.
No, you're not. You looking at something over there, and I really wish you would look at me, because then you making me think you cockeyed or something.
That hurts my feelings, but that's a whole nother show.
Okay. Anyway, so so we feel like we've been loyal to something that wasn't loyal back to us, and so a lot of times we'll do shit like go postal and blow shoot the motherfucker up. Or, there have been times where people were just like so upset that they just walked off the job. Why would you cut off your nose to spite your face? But, because their emotions got the best of them, as opposed to them thinking pragmatically and say, you know what? Let me plot my escape from this plantation. You know what I mean? They just went running all willy-nilly. They just went in the cotton field like the overseer don't see them, right? So, that's one of the things that I would say in terms of, and like I said, I was going to be peppering you guys with little ones, things to do, is that, don't get emotional. One, it's not personal. I've said that several times. It's not personal. If you look at it in terms of that person is making a decision that is best for them, it has nothing to do with me, unless you're a fuck up or whatever, right? It has nothing to do with you. So don't take it personally. Two, you have to take a time to grieve, especially if it's in a relationship and you're being rejected by somebody or something like that. Take a moment to grieve it. It's a loss nonetheless. It's a loss of a job, a promotion, a loved one, whatever. You need to take that moment to grieve it. If that means you get angry and you want to throw shit, if we talking about at the job, don't throw shit. Wait till you get home. Right? If you need to sue, for wrongful termination or some discrimination or whatever, go through whatever process you need to go through, but don't push past it like it didn't exist. It says anytime you spend your... I'm sorry?
I'm going to just hang up on them.
Hang up on who?
Whoever.
I don't know what you're talking about. But Twitter says, anytime you spend your time building someone else's dreams and brands, you're not going to be satisfied as a person. No, I don't believe that to be true. Everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur. Everyone is not meant to be a boss. Every tribe, everybody can't be the chief. There has to be Indians, right?
Yes,
In a colony of bees, there has to be drones. You know what I mean? There has to be worker bees. That, you know, so the thing is that there are workers and there are bosses. Some people are okay with knowing that consistency. I know if I go to work and I do this and I come home and you know, and I get my check on this, and then in these amount of years I can retire. Some people like to have that certainty.
and see, and that's one thing when you do things, especially when you work with other people, even if you are a boss in one area and support in another. That's why what I always tell you, Kiki, you're the star, I just twinkle. You know, that means the support system for the person that's there. And if you're working with something or someone as a team, then you don't have all the chiefs and no Indians to support the chief. You know,
Right.
you have a team that works with you. So, you know, I agree with you that you can't just be, you know, in a room full of everybody's the CEO. You know, who's
Right.
going to do the rest of the work?
Right.
People
Right.
have to have a support system.
Yeah, but I think the key to a successful organization, which I think people lose the larger their companies get, is they forget that people are human beings. They forget the team effort and they don't nurture those positive things about other people. One thing I would like to say, and that I would like to believe that people would say about me and working with me, other than the fact that I'm Hitler or whatever, little Hitler, is that I always recognize people for their strengths, and I support them to do their other stuff too. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like when Tree was here and he wanted to go get back into his acting thing. Go do your thing. You know what I mean? It's like I want my people, I don't want everybody to be under me all the time. You know what I mean? I want you to grow. I want you to blossom. I want you to have your own. But in the meantime, don't fuck up with my shit because you're doing your shit. No.
Well, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm going to be pole dancing.
Okay, let me read some of these comments here. Ron rewrote his comment after I asked him to redo it. He said, what I said is you can only get out of your league when you're not afraid to approach a lady who may be out of your league. Don't be afraid to approach an extremely attractive person. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it just reminds me of my boy Johnny Mac. Johnny Mac, I always say, y'all probably know Johnny Mac from Foxhole Radio. He was on Jamie's show, and he actually writes, he's one of the writers on Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Mac used to say all the time. Now, Johnny Mac is charming as all get out. Not the best looking guy, right? But he's a charming dude, right? But he would say, look, it's like baseball. You just got to keep going up to bat. It's a numbers game. If I keep swinging, sooner or later, I'm going to hit. I don't give a hell what she look like, who she is, or what she does.
Makes sense.
And that's just his thing. However, he also knows how to work what he has to engage somebody who may be out of his league. My thing is, if you coming to me with gold top, go all your grilled out up here at the top, and you don't have no teeth at the bottom, you not bringing your A game to somebody that you think is out of your league, right? You need to bring your good stuff. You know what I mean?
That was horrible.
Another comment, it says, I try to get my people out of that mind frame because white people are not raised in that mentality as much as blacks. I'm say I'm lying. Lying about what? About working for yourself? One thing I encourage in my team is to create your own shit because that's going to make my brand better. I don't even think about me. I think more, I don't think it's more about me. It's just that it's enough out here for us all to eat. You know, yeah. I don't want to be the one eating and feeding you, right? I don't want to do that. That's what you do with babies. You eat, you chew a little bit, you put it in their mouth. I don't need that, right? Because that means they're dependent. I want you to be interdependent. We can all work together and still work and do our own thing. So I don't want to eat and have to feed you. I want us all to be able to pull up a chair at the table and be like, what's up? You know what I mean? That's
There
what
it
I
is.
would like. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room all the time. I don't want to be the one that's always on duty all the time. I don't want to be, no, that's not, no, somebody else pick it up, take it, run, go. And that's just, and let me take that back. I'm not trying to insinuate in my crew that I'm the smartest one in the room. No, not
Oh,
by
I didn't take it that way at all.
no, I'm not saying for you because I didn't. Once it came out of my mouth, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds real messed up. Let me clarify. Let me be clear. That is not what I meant. You know what I mean? What I meant was that my team all have different things and different things to offer. So I
But
try
it's
to
like treat us like peers, not parents.
no. And I don't like to, even though they call me Little Hitler, and we gonna move on. Even though they call me Little Hitler, I don't like to micromanage. And Sporty, you can attest to that. It annoys the fuck out of me if I got to call you and ask you for something.
Yep.
So
And it annoys the fuck out of us when you have to call us and ask us for something.
yeah, it annoys me to no end. Let's see here. Another thing that people rejection. Give me another rejection.
Well, here's another one. How about this? You go to it's like a what do you call it?
You looking for your thoughts up there?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I reject this hole on this goddamn iPad. That's the camera that I have to look at, and I can't go 2 centimeters over to look at you, which is not looking at you, and it drives me up the wall. So now that I've gotten that out, I'm going to resume looking at this little pin-ass hole on this damn
Just give me your scenario.
Oh, KiKi. Okay, oh my God, I got one. So, how about this? We're in a production meeting, and we having a conversation about upcoming shows, and we're throwing out ideas, and a show gets rejected. And you say, no, I don't, no, I don't understand it. I'm not feeling that. And you move right on from it. Like, it was just, and it could be something that was really thought of, and, I could have thought it was the best thing since sliced cheese. And you're like, yeah, no, I don't feel that one. What else we got? And it's just gone like it didn't exist. That hurts. And Chan, don't come in here calling me emotional. My idea was rejected.
Let me get you straight. Right here and right now. Yes, I do reject show ideas, ladies and gentlemen. I do. And here's some of the reasons why I reject show ideas. One, I always say, can we talk about this shit
for 2 hours?
2, you haven't clearly articulated your show idea, and or you have not submitted it in the format in which I asked you to do. So I will reject it and send it back if it's not done properly. Another reason is that I think it may just be fucking boring. Or I think it may be lopsided, meaning there's no balance in the conversation.
Click.
And so I will do things like, I'm processing. I'll get quiet and say,
God.
I'm processing. Let me think about it. That's what I will do.
Yes, you will.
So, that rejection doesn't hurt you guys because I don't want you don't. No, there have been moments where I have said no, and then I'll say I don't get it.
You don't think that hurts?
Why? How are you emotionally attached to that idea?
It came from me. It's mine.
Okay, but again, are you emotionally attached to that idea? Like, I don't get it.
I was in that moment.
Here's the thing. When y'all come to me and y'all have show ideas that y'all passionate about, I'll be like, run with it. If you come to me half-assed and you don't even believe it, why the hell should I? Don't pitch no show to me that's gonna be some bullshit. Y'all the listeners, y'all don't want to hear BS. Y'all want to hear what we talk about. So that's why I reject it. I do it in the name of the integrity of the show. Quality control. I'm Barry Gordy. Nope, that's not a hit. How many of y'all? Not a hit.
Here you are, audience. This is a production meeting moment brought to you live and in living color. Yes.
They talking about some hell yeah, she attached. Well, it's not my problem. As the little man at work used to say to me, when people used to get on his nerve about stuff, he would be like, it's no my problem. It's no my problem.
No my problem.
KiKi, it's not my problem. I'm like, you're right, it's not your problem. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I do. Again, if you are the rejecter, not the rejectee, if you are the rejecter, please be mindful of the person's feelings that you are rejecting. Treat them in a manner that you would like to be treated were you in that same position. What'd you say?
I said Chan.
Yeah, and stop talking when I'm talking. All right. Here's another one. Let me see what came in over here on my little apparatus and see what they came in with for you guys in terms of rejection. All right. What about, we talked about, let's just recap a little bit. We talked about with parents and children, and how when parents aren't paying enough attention to their children, how they will act out, how negative attention is just as good to the kid as positive attention, as long as it's attention. And because they're feeling rejected, you have disconnected in some way from them, and they are doing whatever they can to get to you, to get your attention, to get you to pay some mind to them. Okay, we've talked about how, the shiny buff I buff them up, shine, and send them on their way. We talked about Sporty and her delusional relationship with what she say, the cute light-skinned dude from the block. We've talked about that. And I've given some things too, but I want us always to be mindful of the way to survive rejection.
How do I get over it?
You get over it by addressing it with yourself emotionally. How it made you feel. Why did it make you feel that way? And what lesson were you supposed to get from that? Ask yourself those questions. Why do I feel the way that I feel? And what am I supposed to learn from this? Because here's the thing, Sporty, you and I, when we have our moments and it's not broadcast on Facebook Live, right? And you talking, and I always ask you, well, why do you say that? Why do you feel that way? Why, right? Mm-hmm. Is it because of this? I never give you the answer, right? You tell me, well, maybe it's because of this, or maybe it's because, I don't know. You tell me. Right? But the thing is, a lot of times once you drill down to it, what you're bothered about really is can either be something that you've repressed, which is why I say you need to deal with it emotionally, right? And or it's something that you're afraid of. Yes. And then finally, it's something that just so freaking minuscule that you're making a mountain out of a molehill and you being a drama queen or king. If you really take a moment, process, and look at it, at the end of the day, if it didn't kill you, and people say if it doesn't kill you and make you stronger, not necessarily, because a lot of people didn't get killed, but they're a lot weaker than they were. It'll make you smarter. You'll know what not to do next time.
Or it's a lesson that you didn't learn previously, and you finally get it once you dig into it. So
right, but it's important that we ask ourselves, what was the lesson that we were supposed to get from that? And be completely truthful with yourself.
Agreed.
Be completely truthful with myself. I've said, maybe once or twice on the show before, there was a time where all I picked was unavailable. All I was getting was unavailable men. geographically unavailable, emotionally unavailable, nuptially unavailable, whatever the case, right? Shit, they too damn young, whatever the case, right? They were unavailable to me for some reason, right? And I had to take a truthful inventory of why I kept meeting those kinds of men.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, let's get back to rejection. Again, ask yourself what it is that you need to do. What was you supposed to learn from the thing, right? And then ask yourself what part you played in that. Because a lot of times when you get in these situations and you find yourself on the rejection end, we want to go and blame somebody. Or as I say, we gonna be lame, right? We gonna be lame. We gonna blame somebody. Be lame, right? We're gonna be lame and we're gonna try to put it all on that person. We're not gonna accept responsibility for our part in it. We're not gonna see where we may have made a misstep.
Right.
It's always the other person and not us. So accept your responsibility. Understand what you're feeling. Ask yourself what you're supposed to learn. Accept responsibility for it. And then you have to, of course, when we talk about in those stages, you're going to grieve that loss. You're going to do all that stuff.
Right.
But you also need to move on. And people are like, that's a lot easier said than done. Well, you have to create a plan to move on. A lot of times, like when I say in relationships, my 90-day rule, Steve Harvey has his 90-day rule, which is you don't give them none for 90 days. My 90-day rule is when you break up. At least 90 days should go by, no contact, none, no texting, no email, no Facebook, don't like shit on their page, no Instagram, none of that shit. Disconnect from them completely for 90 days. Unless, again, this is the rule, not the exception. Of course, there are some ways where you can't, where you have children and things of that nature, right? And then you deal with them only on those terms. You do not get emotionally engaged in a conversation that may take you down a rabbit hole. But the reality is, if y'all not together no more, it's not that I hate you. I need to cleanse. I need to purge.
Right.
There are special circumstances where that is not possible. And in a lot of cases, that has been my situation where I broke up with somebody or they broke up with me or whatever the case. And I'm driving down the damn street and the fucking bus drive past and they fucking face on the goddamn billboard. Or I'm sitting here watching TV, minding my own ding-dang business, and who's on there? You know what I mean? So, those are special circumstances. Now I'm saying when you see this shit, don't go and call them because, turn the damn channel. Don't sit there and watch the shit and be all in your damn feelings, whether it's, sadness or anger or whatever it is. But take that 90 days.
Makes sense to me.
Separate yourself from that loss. Make a plan to get over it and get through it. You said I'm right about that shit. What shit am I right about? Tell me. What was I right about? Because I said a whole lot. And then, once you've made that plan, you follow those steps. Understand that every day that rejection, that sting comes, a little bit less. Again, some are long-term rejections that you take a lot of time to come down from, and some of them are quick, right? I just read a tweet that just came in. So some things are more quick where you can get over it. You didn't get the promotion. Okay. You didn't get the job itself. You applied for it. You knew it was like 600 people applying for it. Did you get it? No. You auditioned for this role and you didn't get it. You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say next. When people audition for roles or beauty pageants,
Try out for teams.
Yep, applying for colleges, and you get rejection letters, buying a house, and not getting the loans for that, and one of the big ones I was thinking about was when people um, apply for like their grants and things like that for their companies or businesses, and they don't get, approval for those things, and they take it. I have seen some people get so devastated over that they don't even recover. They're just like, fuck it, I'm just not gonna do it. It's not meant for me, and they just give up. And it can be something as simple as, you didn't sign something properly, or it wasn't typed correctly, or whatever the case may be. But you give up so quickly that you don't refocus your efforts to doing what needed to be done to correct the problem, or learn the lesson, as you say, follow those steps that you just carefully laid out. And you could, once you learn the lesson, you might have something that actually can work if you know what to do the next time around.
Yeah.
Because the situation, 9 times out of 10, these situations present themselves again in life.
They do.
And
They do.
you'll either know how to handle it, or you'll repeat the same cycle all over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you absolutely will. You will. They say KiKi stop dating dudes on condom commercials.
Oh,
And they say, nah, you right about cutting off all ties. What's up, Rocky? We see you in there. I was getting ready to tell you something. You said something that threw me, when you were talking about people, getting rejected for houses and jobs and, auditions and things of that nature. Again, you're just not what they're looking for. It's not personal.
mm-hmm.
Unless you go in there and you totally bomb, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not on you. If you go and you do your absolute best and they went in a different direction, or you weren't what they were looking for, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It really is not.
That's like an audience rejecting you if you're doing comedy or singing a
Oh
song.
man, that is one of the reasons why
That
that's why, I've been around some singers in my day, not just singers, singers. Like I literally was in a musician vocalist masterclass, which was our rehearsal with George Duke, Rochelle Farrell, and Shaka Khan, and I was like, oh, and Sheila E. And I'm like, right? So I done seen it, I done heard it, I done seen it. So I'm like, I ain't getting up there singing. You cannot, if you've been around that kind of stuff, you can't now decide you want to open your mouth and not really come bring it, right? So if you're getting booed, the motherfuckers looking at you like, get your ass off the damn stage, or they can't hear you over all the table conversation. That's what I used to tell Bernie. I don't know how you get up there that first time, or how do you take that first time you get booed. I mean, it's better than what. Remember we did the Business of Comedy, and Alex Thomas was on here, and he said the dude he got into a fight. The dude just ran up on the stage. Was that him or was that Damon?
That was Damon.
Oh yeah, and wait, he peed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Alex peed himself.
Alex peed himself. Damon got into the fight.
Yeah, it's like crazy. Like I don't know what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't know what I would do. That would just. I have to get over it.
It makes your heart sink, but if you don't get right back in that saddle immediately, you get over it. And you could be doing it, and it's really, like you just said, though, sometimes it really, really is the audience. It is not you. It is.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes you'll get an audience that's just not feeling it. They don't give a hell what you sing, what joke you tell. They just not there to have a good time. But again, you get over it. You keep powering through it. You get back on the stage. Get back on the horse. I mean, that's the best thing. Learn the lesson and get back on the horse. Why didn't the joke work? Because it is. Why didn't the song work? It wasn't the right crowd for that genre of music. Whatever it is. But it's not the end of the world. You can get over it. You can survive that, short of them saying, you get this wrong and we're going to kill you. Like they used to do back in the day.
Exactly.
Back in the day, short of that, you're in good shape, I'm trying to think of the worst rejection I think I ever had. Think about that, Sporty, and you guys too in the chat and on Twitter. What was the worst rejection, the biggest rejection, or the most memorable rejection that you have experienced? I wonder.
Thanks, Louie. Louie just told me my lighting sucks in a private instant message.
He
Thank.
actually said it he said it in a live message. I just didn't repeat it
Oh,
because that wasn't for public. Anyway, go ahead.
oh my goodness.
What's the
Well, I can
worst,
tell
most
you
memorable?
the most. I can tell you the most memorable. It wasn't mine, but I really felt bad for the person. So I was out with some girlfriends of mine, and we were at this club in Michigan. And this guy, he had to be, and I'm not picking on you, but literally, he had to be at least a foot shorter than you. And he walks up to Rachel, and he
So
says,
wait, he was a dwarf, a little person.
he was I would say he was in between a little person and a short person. He wasn't quite a dwarf, but he
Ain't
wasn't. But
nothing in between a little person and a short
I don't.
person.
He was short. I'll just say he was little. He was short, and he walks up to Rachel. Rachel ain't but about 5'4", And he
Hmm.
walks up to Rachel. He looks, she's sitting down. Um, and he says to her, I would like to take you out. Can we get together? Here's my phone number. He hands her his card. And she looks down at this guy. Even though she's sitting, she looks down at him. She says, "Look, you got to be this tall to ride this ride." And I just said, oh, my heart broke for him because he looked at her with this look like, how could you say that to me? And he just hung his poor little head and he
Oh.
walked out of the club. I was like, Rachel. She was like, what? He's short. I said, you're short. And he was you could tell the guy was so hurt. I just like literally just watched this guy walk straight out of the door. Like, oh my God. I felt so bad for him myself. I know he had to feel horrible. I wonder about that guy to this day.
Okay, I'm not gonna take this Twitter abuse. God dang it. It
I'm not
said
gonna
a
too.
foot shorter than KiKi. He was a hobbit. Hush! I'm not gonna take this abuse. That's not what this is. Not make fun of KiKi day moment on Twitter. Okay, that's what
Right.
we're not gonna do.
I wasn't even trying to do that. I was just trying to give you a visual of how little he
Yeah,
was.
I mean, again, but that's that disrespectful shit that I'm talking about. That's the kind of shit that make a dude go bad on you afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the beginning of the show, when a guy's trying to talk to a woman and she's not interested, just gracefully bow out, fellas. You know what I mean? But I can understand why some dudes will go left on them because you got somebody who is now purposefully being mean to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was uncalled for. Funny, but uncalled for. You know?
Right. It was not nice. I felt so
it was
bad.
very not nice. And so in those instances, I can see how that rejection would sting to the point, because it's not even about the rejection at that point. It's about what you just did, the disrespectful shit you just did. You know what I mean? Look, you jive, turkey. It's that disrespectful shit you just did that made that person go bad on you. So ladies, please be more conscious of that. If you have to be the person on the rejecting end, you ain't gotta be nasty. You ain't gotta be rude. You ain't gotta be mean. You don't have to do all of that. Yeah, could I told the dude not be a yuck mouth? You know when he had all the goals and none on the bottom. Yeah, could I said that? Yes. There are a lot of things that I could say to guys that walk up to me and try to holler at me like, dude, really? Did you see yourself when you came out the house today? Here, borrow my glasses. Take a look at you and then take a look at me.
Something
right?
wrong.
Or there's something, out of sync here. But again, I don't do that. I don't think it's necessary. It's mean. It's mean-spirited, and it doesn't reflect well on you as a human being. There's still some humanity. There has to be a level of humanity if you're the one doing the rejecting. You have to exercise that and recognize that the humanity of it all. I don't like for people to tell me no. My thing has always been resistance is futile. I always get what I want. Now, it might take me a little longer than the next one, or you know what I mean, or it might come to me by unconventional means, but I'm gonna get it.
True. True.
So Ray Lewis, you have been put on notice. I had to say that.
Lord help us all.
Yes, they said your advice to reject the way you would like to be rejected is simple and to the point. Absolutely. Do unto others. One of the golden rules. Sporty, you got another one? Reflection of a rejection that we could talk about?
Okay, how about this? There was this event where you were at a party, and the girl, she walked up to this guy. He was a nice looking guy. How nice build, tall, tall, dark, handsome guy. And she walked up to him. She's like, you want to dance or whatever? And he was like, you're not my type. I can't dance with you. And she walked back over to us. He was like, he told me he wouldn't dance with me because I wasn't his type. And so, we were comforting her and supporting her, like, it's okay. There are other people out here. We all started dancing with her or whatever, to relax her and calm her down or whatever. But this guy, he went and picked some other little, girl and danced with her. And she started to cry, right there in the club, because her feelings were hurt that this guy rejected her and all she wanted to do was dance with him. So she felt really bad. Okay, so now my question, but here's my question to you about that type of particular scenario. When you're in a situation with someone who's in the process and you see the rejection, with this person. So like if I see you're being rejected by someone or vice versa, what do? How do you support them in that? We know what we're supposed to do. We look at it, we we acknowledge it, we learn the lesson from it. But how do you support people through that? Because like we're sitting here discussing it with each other now, people are going to say, oh my God, KiKi, this happened such and such time, and this is what happened. What do I do? Or you see I'm visibly upset about it or whatever. How do you support someone through that?
Because I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Because when people get emotional with me, I'm like, what do you want me to do with that? I don't know what to do with it, right? With my friends. Now, it's different if you're a client or whatever. But with my friends, I'm like, what the fuck? What do you want? What do you want from me? What am I supposed to do? Why is your face wet? Why is your face wet? Right? So, for me, if somebody, like, if my friend was that girl in the club and she started crying, I'm going ape shit on her ass. What the fuck are you crying for all these mofos in this club? You can't dance with nobody else? You need to take your ass home. You don't know how to play well with others. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit. Like, really? Or I might look at Chan like, this motherfucker here, she tripping. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But in terms of supporting your friends when they're rejected, is that, you allow them to that space to grieve, to acknowledge it, and you support them through that. When they have questions, be truthful with them. Especially when they're going through that whole being accountable stage, right? You want to be truthful with them and be forthcoming with them. You don't want to kick them when they down. That's the thing. You don't want to kick them while they down, or you don't want to pull a Chan and hit them with the "I told you so." She loves the "I told you so." She lives for the "I told you so." She lives for the "I told you so." I'm sure she probably is talking bad about me right now in the other room. Let me look at this here. It says, the biggest rejection I had was a blind date. Chick was into light-skinned dudes. The cousin that set us up didn't know she was that. What? I need the rest of it. He didn't know. They didn't know she was that what? Oh, she didn't know. He didn't know she was that way. That she was only into light-skinned dudes.
Oh, wow.
Good. Leave all the chocolate ones for me then. Vote for me. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
I knew that was coming next.
Let me tell you something. The funny thing is that back in the day, dark-skinned brothers did not want to fool with me. Back in the day, only people that would come to me, and this old lady once said, "Baby, you like who like you, right?" Because my sister them used to tease me about being prejudiced. They were saying, "You color struck, you only date light skinned." No, I like who like me. And it just so happened all these El DeBarge looking Negroes, all you house niggers, kept knocking on my door. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, I was just like, yeah. But I always, like my mama said, I like my men like I like my coffee hot.
That just seemed to
Strong.
be the consensus back then, though. The light skin was always with a dark skinned guy,
I
and
think it was a
vice
fashion
versa.
trend.
Yeah, I think so too. Cause I don't necessarily, like a super chocolate dark guy. I just don't. My complexion works for me.
More for me.
Have
Thank
at
you.
them.
And I'm gonna tell your SB you said that. Anyway,
He ain't
he ain't what?
he my complexion.
No, SB is not.
I mean, well, he a little darker than me.
Not
He
darker.
ain't dark.
SB is like me. Anyway, let's not even
Y'all
get
ain't
on this.
navy blue.
I'm not that dark. I'm milk chocolate. I'm the color of a Snicker.
No, I'm talking about under the bed dark. He ain't
That's
under the
not me.
bed dark.
Anyway, it says only wait. They was saying back in the day the only PSNs that dark skinned dudes was getting back in the day was white girls. I don't know. I don't know where you went to school. But I went to all girls school, so that don't even matter. Anyway, moving right along. Rejection. So you were supposed to be giving me your biggest rejection. I'm looking here in the chat room too to see if somebody else gave one of their most memorable rejections. I think I shared mine.
I think I shared mine too.
I think I'm gonna go back to my ex. I'm sorry.
I shared mine as well.
Let me clean out my good ear. What did you just say to me? Yeah, I was fuming. I wasn't even hurt in that moment. I was pissed because I was like, I did not train you. I didn't groom you. I didn't mold you for you to feel empowered to go back to her because the man I just made you into, she ain't ready for.
So sad.
Dumb dumb.
You big dummy.
Fine,
Yeah,
that's it, you dumb dumb. Yeah.
I gave you mine as well. My sister divorced my brother-in-law to marry mine. So yeah, that's about the biggest. I don't think I can get any bigger than that.
Do you think that was a rejection or a betrayal? You think he was rejecting you?
Well, I mean, he rejected his family, he rejected his home, he rejected me, he rejected everything that he had to
What do
go
you
be with
mean
her.
by when you say rejected? Why do you say he rejected his family?
Because he had one. He didn't have to leave. He didn't have to do anything that he did. He made a choice.
So you would have preferred him stay and not really want to be there? I'm just asking.
He didn't say he didn't want to be there. He said he did it, and he wound up doing what he did because I wouldn't take him back.
He married her because you wouldn't take him back. Baby, get off my damn.
Right.
See, and that is why I would not be able to be friends with that mofo. Cause see, that's some bullshit. That's some monkey ball bullshit. You don't marry somebody because the person you fucked over won't take you back. That's the bullshit.
We're not gonna fight about him. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's what I call him, ladies and gentlemen. In case you do not know, I call this mofo old boy. I refuse to call him by his name. I know his name. I call him old boy. Anyway, let's move on. I think it's time for our Ask PDA letter.
Oh yeah.
Get money. Get money. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our Ask PDA letter. Let me go ahead and play this disclaimer so I don't have to deal with y'all talking about some KiKi, I got your advice, and this what had happened. Anyway, here we go.
At some point, you will be offended by something said on our show, but Playing Devil's Advocate is meant to be a forum for open, honest, and more importantly, judgment-free dialogue. The opinions expressed here may not necessarily be those of our hosts or the show in general, but we're willing to have the uncomfortable conversations so that we can heal and find solutions for our listeners and quite possibly ourselves. Enjoy the rest of the show.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, today's Ask PDA letter is being brought to you by our producer's Drink of the Week. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out Paloma, now is your time. Go to facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate. Get the link, try out the drink, and let Cousin Chan know what you think. Before I address this letter, let me read this comment that just came through in chat. It said, KiKi, Sporty's on point. You don't throw out your sister over some dude. I ain't say throw out nothing about throwing out your sister. I never said, I'm talking about that dude. I'm not talking about, I call him oh boy. I've never even mentioned her. So let's just get that clear. All righty. Here we go. They said, this is interesting. Rocky said, this is interesting. Funny. Here's our letter. Dear PDA, I have a lifelong male friend that I've had on and off relationships with, but currently it has been strictly friends for at least 5 years. Our families are close and our children, our families are close and our children. We do love each other, but it's not romantic. At best, if the itch occurred for him and I was willing to scratch, I would have done it in the past. He is clear that I'm involved with someone else and have no interest in him romantically. We've always looked out for each other no matter what and never hesitated to have each other's back. Well, now he has been diagnosed with MS. His mom has severe MS, and this is going to really hit her hard. His girl broke up with him today, and he's due to be discharged from the hospital tomorrow. He wants to come stay with me in my 2-bedroom apartment with my kid and no space to add anything. The one place he could sleep is the couch, and he said he would have to bring his king-size bed, meaning we would have to share a room. That won't work, and I don't want to share my space, let alone my bed with him. PDA family, help. Signed, not your backup plan. Okay, not your backup plan. I'm going to take this one first. First of all, you said, I don't want to share my space, let alone my bed with him. It ain't going to be your bed, boo-boo. He bringing his king size. I couldn't let that one pass. I couldn't let that pass. Sorry. Okay. All right, but seriously, on another note. Here's what's happening here. I don't know how this person approached you in terms of how they want to come stay with you and things of that nature, but it would be highly, I know that his girl broke up with him and his mom has this other issue. Does he not have any other friends? Because it seems rather odd to me that you would be the pick for you to save him or to be there for him in this moment. It seems rather odd to me. So I think it's that you need to be very clear about why you cannot open your home to him. Not because I don't want to share my space. That's some selfish shit. Let alone my bed. That's I can't sleep in the bed with you and I'm with somebody else. That just doesn't work, right? Furthermore, I have a child. I have to be cognizant of the images and the things that I let them see. the kind of stuff that they're privy to on a regular basis. So it would not necessarily be appropriate for me to expose this child. I don't know if it's a girl child or a boy child, whatever the case. There's some things that you have to be clear about the messages, because remember, children learn by what they see, not by what you say. All right. And so I just need for you, the help that you need is to be completely transparent with your friend as to why it will not be feasible for you to come stay, for them to come stay with you. And that's the best that you can do. Offer some suggestions. Don't just be like, no, you can't stay with me. But as a friend, try to offer some suggestions. Like, that's too bad, dog. I don't know what you're going to do, nigga. All right. With that being said, like I said, have a heart-to-heart with them. Let them know why it's not going to be a feasible option for you, and offer them some suggestions on what they could do for their housing issues at this point. I wonder why the girlfriend broke up with him. Did the girlfriend break up with him after she found out he had MS? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Sporty.
I will offer you a poem that you can say to them, and it would simply be, roses are red and violets are blue. Since we are so close, let me see what else I can do to assist you.
Yeah, you can't stay here. No vacancies at the Bethlehem Inn. There's no vacancies.
There's no room in the inn for you.
Rocky said in the chat room, he said he's trying to force her hand, and it sounds like he's being manipulative. Absolutely, he's being manipulative, because now he laid it on thick. I got MS. My girl broke up with me. Wait, no, I got MS. My mama got MS. It's going to bother her a whole lot. My girl broke up with me. I'm about to get out the hospital. I ain't got no place to go. Sometimes when it rains, it pours. It does. I get it. I understand. But this sounds like some monkey ball BS. As I would say on a regular, something rotten in the cotton.
And something else you would also say is some ping pong monkey junk.
Ping pong monkey junk. That's right. It's some ping pong monkey junk, because there's something rotten in the cotton. He trying to get in your drawers. He trying to backdoor your current dude in some way, shape, or form. Not a good look. Not a good look. What's up, Vera? Thank you for joining us. So yeah, if you want to submit your Ask PDA letter for submission for us to answer your questions here on the show, you can send us an email to pda.radio@gmail.com, pda.radio@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put Ask PDA. And if we select your letter, we will reply back and let you know when we will be doing your letters. So if you have some commentary you want to add, or if we ask some additional questions we want to ask you, we can private message you and get some further follow-up. We've done that in the past where people have written in letters and they've been available for us to ask them questions about it. So again, if you want to submit your letter for our Ask PDA letter segment, you can do it at pda.radio@gmail.com with Ask PDA in the subject. Sporty, you just a smiling. Who you smiling at, girl?
No comment.
No, I want to comment. Somebody in your house?
No, they're on my phone.
Oh, tell them you working now. Hell, reject that call. You know what? That's what I find interesting. Do you notice on the phones how it says accept, reject? That's so rude.
You could say decline or no answer.
Thank you. Yeah. It said accept, reject. Reject. I'm like, that's so mean. But how do you get over that? That's what I don't like. I don't like when I call people and they send me straight to voicemail. It don't happen. I think it's rude. I do it to people sometimes, but sometimes I'm just not in the position.
I was going to say, you send me the voicemail in a minute.
I do, but I reply back with the message, don't I?
You.
I don't just send you the voicemail and you just got to go there. I send you the voicemail.
I'll call you right back, or I'm on the phone. Yes, you will. You do send a message.
Yes, I do.
You have a whole process. Hi, Angel. KiKi can't come to the phone right now. Then there's a text message. Angel, KiKi will call you back shortly. all of that. So yes, you are very professional.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
you know.
want to talk to your people. I want to talk to you.
Girl, Anthony AD called my thing. He was like, I can't stand your mother. He went bad on my answer machine. So
I
I
know
can't
he's not
stand it.
going back.
Why is she calling me by my name? How she know? I'm like, really? I'm like, pipe down, Tiger. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna change it. So I for the next time he called, I had changed it to motherfucker. So it's like, hey, motherfucker, KiKi can't come to the phone right now.
That would be so funny.
No, I did it. I did it. I did it to him. Okay. Rocky is absolutely dead on about this letter. He said everybody is eager to help a good dude. So if ain't nobody stepping up to offer your people some assistance,
Something's wrong.
something wrong. Either he don't have no real good friends, right? Or he's on some ping pong
Yeah,
jump trying to get in your drawers.
I'm
Keep you,
inclined to agree.
yeah, so just be very careful. But again, be tactful in the way that you decline his request. Or because I'm gonna change it from rejection. Where you reject his offer to stay with you. Be gentle in your declining of his offer. Just advise him of all the why it's not feasible. And that's pretty much the gist of all of this tonight. When you are being rejected, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a ego shot. An ego shot. And the ego is very fragile. So, you have to keep it in check sometimes and have to let them know. That's why I say you have to remind yourself, it's not personal. It's not personal. Even if you got to lie to yourself for a minute. Because after you go to that, it's not personal, you now have to go into accountability, right? So, of course, now you're going to get to the point where you can accept your part in it. But that's just to help you get through. But the reality of the situation is that most times when you are being rejected, that rejection has nothing to do with you personally. It's not an attack on you or against you. It's just not for you.
See, now when I hear rejection or I feel like I'm being rejected, my immediate thought is, oh, they don't recognize greatness. So, I get over it really quickly. That's what I do. Might not be the right thing, but it's what I do.
I don't say right or wrong.
This is true, but they don't recognize greatness.
Whatever you have to say to yourself to get through.
It helps me sleep at night.
Yeah, if you
Keeps me from
say
crying.
they don't recognize greatness, then fine. It is. Sometimes I just like, it wasn't for me in the first place. You know what I mean? And then 9 times out of 10, when I get a no and they mean no, when I finally see what they were telling me no about, I'm like, oh, thank you, dodged a bullet.
Right. Hello.
Thank you, dodged a bullet. Because sometimes we don't listen to the universe. We don't listen to the universe when it's telling us danger, danger, Will Robinson, turn around, abort mission, hashtag abort mission. When it's telling you that, you're not listening. And so then you get caught up, and then next thing you know, you've out there bad.
You're like, where does big ass boulder come from?
Vera in the chat room said everyone can't help the good dude. No, you can't help everyone, but I can't be your only one. You know what I mean? I understand if you just moved into town and you didn't know nobody, but we live in the same town. I'm just assuming this because this is facts, not in evidence. I'm assuming that y'all live in the same city in the same state, so clearly you know people. How about you and your mama live together since y'all both got MS? Y'all can have a little support group, and I'm not being an asshole. I'm not being an asshole. I'm saying that so that y'all can be a support system to each other in that way, and then that way, whomever is doing the home health care, they can just come to one place for both of y'all. I don't know how far advanced your MS is, but I'm just saying that's an option. I know it sounds like I was being an asshole when I said that. They said it's hard not to internalize it. Being rejected, it is. you know, it can be depending on what it is. You know, um, sometimes you just know. Sometimes you just know. You're like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know,
Yeah.
you know, because again, I always say, why not me? Why not me? What's that got to do with me? You know, so when, you know, people say you can't do something or no, this isn't right for you. Okay, I do it myself in my way, and that way I can set the tone. Or, you know, if it's somebody who doesn't want to be with me, fine, don't be with me. Kick rocks. You'll be back. I guarantee it.
Deuces.
You'll be back, but guess what? You'll be back in the friend zone.
Because you blew the other version.
Yeah, yeah, because it's easy
Out
for
the
me.
water.
Once you put yourself in the friend zone by doing something, you know, again, I can say I have been in a good position where I have not had any assholes. They might do some asshole shit, like, you know, lulling me in and don't say it, not acting like it, nothing is wrong, you know, nothing
Right.
is up, and then hit you with the mouth shot. He might look like do you like Canelo Alvarez, like Canelo did Khan this past weekend.
Woo!
It's hard to get over that shit. But yeah, if they do that, you know, that was an asshole move. But again, after getting some distance in the situation, and I was able to not be mad about it anymore, I had to understand that was his way, his coping mechanism to be able to have that conversation with me.
Right.
So, okay, did I agree with his method? No.
No.
Is that gonna change the message? No. Had he done it a different way, would it have changed the damn message? No. The message is still the same. So, you know, that's why it is what it is. So, yeah, you think you have to, what did I say? What did I say? You have to accept it, right? It's like, okay, you know, deal with the emotions that come with that. You know, that's part of the acceptance part. Grieve, do all of that stuff that you need to do. You need to ask yourself, what is the lesson? What was I supposed to get from that?
Mm-hmm.
And hold yourself accountable for your part in it. Were you not prepared for the interview? Did you not train hard enough to get picked for the team? Do you know what I mean? There's something, you know, we always say, I did everything that I could do.
So I sum it up like this. I've given your explanation and analogy, and I call it, you know, if you're being rejected, you're going to get glad about it. So you, like you said, you get over it, you grieve, you know, you go through that process.
Let me write it down.
Okay, so
okay, get over it.
Get over it, grieve, you know, that's your G. Your
Uh-huh.
L is you're learning your lesson, you know, so that's the L. Your A is your accountability. And once you do all those things, you have the D, so that you don't have to do it all over again.
Don't repeat it.
Don't repeat the process. So if
great job, Sporty. That is great
Right.
work. You're being rejected. Get hashtag glad.
There it is.
D, get over it and grieve. L, learn the lesson. A, take accountability. And D, don't repeat it.
There you go.
Damn it to hell.
There you
Teamwork
go.
make the dream work.
That's it.
We did that. Nice little bow to wrap that up. Thank you so very much. Y'all get that? Write it down. I wrote it down.
That's what we do. We get
GLAD. Got it. Hashtag stolen. Hashtag swiped.
Yes. That's part of Key 2 because it was done in the Key 2 environment. So
Hey, you know what?
property of the company.
That acronym can work in so many instances. It can work in terms of rejection. It can work in terms of a relationship breakup. You know what I mean? It can go so many ways. It can an argument that you have with a loved one, right? Get over it. You know, get over it. Learn what the lesson was in it. You know, stay focused on that. Take your accountability for your part in it, and don't do that shit again.
Yep. Yep. That's what I get out of it.
That's gonna be my key to life. That's gonna be my key to life tomorrow.
Yay, team. Now I feel really special.
Thank you. I'm gonna make that my key to life tomorrow. Thank you, Sporty, very much. I appreciate that. On behalf of Cousin Chan, Sporty, Spunky, Angel, our incredible invisible intern, Rob Carter the Fourth, and me, your host, Miss KiKi, the consummate provocateur. I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight for How to Handle Rejection. We had a great show, and next week we have an even better show lined up for you guys. So make sure you are here, same bad time, same bad channel. If there's anything they need to know about us, Sporty, what do they need to do?
Google us, bitches.
That's right. Google us, bitches. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/playing devil's advocate. And you can send us a tweet at PDA_Miss KiKi. Follow me, KiKi_Richardson on Twitter, KiKi Richardson on Instagram, KiKi Richardson on Periscope, and KiKi Richardson on Facebook. I'm the one with the blue check mark. Sporty Spunky Angel, tell everybody where they can find you so we can get out of here.
You can find me at Jams86, that's JAMMS86 on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find me at Angel Johnson, and that's how Periscope, Jams86, all of that. So
okay,
that's how you find me.
And go to KiKiRichardson.com. There you'll be able to purchase PDA merchandise. You'll be able to get Key to Life, Key to Love, Key to Relationships, Key to Seduction merchandise. You can find out when my next seminar is coming up. You can purchase a copy of The Other Woman Code of Conduct. You can find out about our guests, our hosts, our experts right there, KiKiRichardson.com. Until next time, remember, we're uncensored, unscripted, unapologetic. Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.